Today, I want us to talk about waiting upon the promises of the Lord. This is something that it's not easy. It's not easy at all to wait upon the Lord, because sometimes we happen to wait for quite a long time. Maybe God promised you something 10 years ago and it has not happened. Maybe you got that prophetic word 5 years ago and it has not come to pass. And many are the times that we happen to give up on the promises of God. Why? Because it has taken the promise a very long time for it to come to pass. And even as we look at the Bible, we see that there are very many people who were promised things by God, and the promises took a very long time to pass. Like the case of Abraham and Sarai, God promised them a nation which would come through them having a son. And when we read the Bible, it took them 25 years for them to receive the promise that God gave them. And in between the time that God promised them, in between the time that God gave them that promise of a son, and the time that the promise came to pass, we happen to see that Sarai got to a point that she felt like the promise would not come through her. And to her thinking, she thought that the promise would come through Hagar, who was their slave. And she tried to convince Abraham, and Abraham and Hagar got a son who was Ishmael. But the Bible tells us that Ishmael was not the promised son. He was not the promise. And even in our lives, we may have that prophecy, and in between the prophecy and the time that this prophecy will come to pass, we get to give up, we get to have counterfeits of things that seems like they are the promises or they are the prophecies, but in the real sense they are not. And what I know is that, and what I believe is that, when God happens to promise you something, no matter how long it shall take, it shall come to pass. Maybe you have been waiting upon God on that one promise, on that one prophecy that you received 10 years ago. And as we talk, maybe this is the 10th year since the prophecy was given to you, and you are feeling like giving up, you are feeling like it's not happening. I want to encourage you that it doesn't matter how long the promise will take. What matters and what I believe in is that it shall come to pass. No matter how long it will take, it shall come to pass. Maybe you are looking at that other person and seeing like their life is good, their life is going on well, and you are there stagnant, waiting on God. What I want you to know and what I want you to believe is that waiting on God is not in vain. No matter how long, waiting on Him is never in vain. Just trust Him, wait on Him, having faith and having hope that in His time, everything will be good. In His time, everything will be better. In His time, in His own time. Because maybe if He happens to give you that thing right now, it might end up ruining your relationship with Him. And that's why He's keeping it for a little bit longer, for your faith to be strong, for you to be ready. And the question I was asking myself today is are you ready for that promise? Or are you just waiting on that promise, not being ready for it? If you have been waiting for that baby, are you ready for that baby? Or are you just waiting to have a baby? Just think about it. Yes, I'm waiting for this promise. Yes, I'm waiting on God for this promotion. Am I ready for it? Can I handle what that promotion will bring in my life? If not, ask God to help you to be prepared and be ready for that promise. And when it comes, it will come with all its blessings. And you will be able to handle it. Bye. Till next time.